Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump in and get started here. My name is Gabriela Hernandez Gonzalez, and I'm an Assistant Director of Admissions here. As you can see, this is my lovely Irish family that we have. And I just wanted to make sure you all know who we are. But as we dive in today, we're going to kind of go over the admissions process and timeline, as well as the different application components. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, as well as some solid advice for this, going over our deadlines here coming up, and then any questions that you may have at the end. Okay. So our admissions process. So we like to make sure that we're transparent with our admissions process because we know that this is a very intense time period for you all as you are looking at different MSF programs and just different graduate education programs in general. So the first piece is that we have an application review. So our operations team goes in and checks in all the different components, making sure that you have all the pieces of your application in. You need 2 letters of recommendation, making sure you have the test scores or test waivers if you had applied for them, but just making sure all the pieces are ready before they're sent off to admissions committee. Then we go to admissions committee where we do a light check, just checking on, again, just getting a second set of eyes, well, actually multiple set of eyes, looking at all the applications as well. And then we go into a virtual interview. Not everybody is invited to the virtual interview, so don't stress if you are not invited, but because we have limited interview slot times, we have a prioritization for a specific application. So just kind of know that there's a variance between applications of who are selected for the interview round. So just also keep that in mind. The next piece going in, then we're going back to admissions committee, and this is where, based on the information that is collected, we have multiple readers going through and looking at all this information, and then they go and discuss the merits of all the applications against the current pool of candidates. Then at the same time, if you had selected fellowship is also reviewed for that as well against the current round. And then last but not least, we give our final decision. Now, because we have such a very intense process, we really stick to our deadlines, and I really want to make sure you keep that in mind as you are planning out your application process. Just kind of know that in the background, there's just a lot of different pieces going on, okay? In our application components, we have our statement of purpose. We also have a resume with recommendations. Then we have transcripts, our prerequisites, as well as our GMAT and GRE scores. And then if you're international students, we ask for a language test, and this could be the TOEFL, PT, IELTS. Everyone has to complete a video Kira assessment. And then we have an essay, and then we have a slide deck presentation. And then, like I mentioned earlier, our interview, which is invitation only. So I'm going to go over the different components of our application and as we move forward. So our statement of purpose really focuses on who you are in terms of your short-term goals and how does the MSF fit in. We ask that this is completed in about 100 words, and really just trying to tie in what are you trying to achieve out of an MSF and what are you trying to do post MSF. So having that intentionality for the statement of purpose is what we're looking for. Then on our resume, we ask that you have it condensed to 1 page. You can include any internships or relevant professional experiences, as well as your clubs and organizations, any community involvement, and your technical skills. And if you have done any competitions or research, we also encourage you to put that on there as well. Our recommendations, so we do ask that you have 2 recommendations. Please note that your application will not be reviewed unless you have all the pieces, and that includes the 2 letters of recommendation. We ask that you have 1 academic reference and 1 professional reference. It could be an organization leader or a coach if you don't have a professional reference. Please note that while your letters of recommendation do not have to be with your application at the deadline, they do have to be together with the packet when it is ready for review. So we ask that anywhere from you have both letters of recommendation within 5 to 7 days of the deadline window. Then for your transcripts, we ask that you have all institutions attended. In your transcripts, this includes your summer courses as well. They need to be translated into English for our international students. And these can be unofficial transcript documents. So the transcript documents do not need to be your certified transcript. They can be a screenshot as long as it has your full name and then identifying information. It could be your birthday or your student ID number on it that's visible, as well as in English. And those can be used for the application process. Now, if you are accepted and admitted, we will require your official transcripts to be sent in, as well as your WES evaluations for our international students. Now, our prerequisites, we don't have a specific set of prerequisite classes, but we do ask that you have demonstrated quantitative skills. This includes if you have a STEM major, or if you have taken any calculus, physics, statistics, anything that requires high quantitative ability. That is how we're gauging if you'll be successful in our program, as we are a very quantitative course. So just note that. And then also we request a GMAT or GRE scores. Both of the exams are accepted and they can be submitted after the deadline. You can have a future test date included. But again, please remember that as we're reviewing your application, in order to not hold up or stall your decision or release date, we ask that you have it within a certain time frame. And then at the same time, if you are requesting there are GMAT or GRE waivers available. So please note that if you have a 3.5 GPA, you can request a waiver. And then also in addition to that, if you are a Notre Dame student, receive your undergraduate from the University of Notre Dame, you can also submit for a waiver. And these can, you can also submit your unofficial report for this. We will ask for a verified score upon decision, so just kind of know that as well. Now, for our international students, for our language tests, we do take the TOEFL and the IELTS. They can be submitted at the deadline and have a future test date included as well. There are waiver options available. So if you are instructed in a English as the medium for your university, you can make sure that your university or transcript has some kind of notations on that. You can request a waiver for that. Or if you received, if you're an international student and you received a 4-year degree from the here in the United States, you can also receive a waiver for that. We ask that you submit an unofficial, you can submit an unofficial report, but again, all verified reports will have to be sent in before, if you are admitted and then before you matriculate. Now, the Kira video assessment, this is very exciting. All applicants will receive this. This link will be sent via email after your application is completed and sent in. This is about a 10-minute interview. This is not the formal interview, but we do consider it a professional encounter. So we suggest that you dress like you are going in for a job interview and just kind of know that as well, that is what it is. And then as you're moving forward, this is just another piece to get to know who you are, as well as understanding just a little bit more about you and your potential fit for our program. Now, the essay section, we ask that you select one of the prompts. We have 2 prompts, and make sure that you have the essay prompt somewhere high up top so that we know which prompt you are addressing. We ask that you have the essay double spaced and 11 to 12 size font. There are supplemental essays to the application. So if there's any pieces of your application that you would like to clarify or just expand upon, whether it's your general research interest or maybe just some hesitancy that you you believe you would like to clarify, whether it's your grades or just any other aspect of your application that you just want to add some information to, there is a section for that in as well. And then there's an optional personal statement that you can do. Okay. This is again just to understand who you are, how you think, and your just general fit for our program, and understanding who you are as an individual and what you could potentially add to our cohort. Now, last but not least, we have our slide. It's not my last, but we have our slide presentation. This is an exciting one. We ask that you have complete 4 slides that you save and upload it as a PDF. And so because it is saved and uploaded as a PDF, we ask that you do not have any hyperlinks in any of the presentation, as we won't click them and we won't be able to access them. We do ask that this is new information that is not in your resume or anything of that nature. We also ask that you have photos and text, as this is just a way to show your creativity and who you are, being able to show your personality. There have been so many interesting slide decks that have been shown, and we would just love to get to know who you are, and again, how can you add to the cohort. Then for the admissions interview, now this is invite only. You're invited during the review process, so please, again, just kind of note that not everyone is invited for the interview due to the limited selection of spots. It will be conducted online for equity purposes. You will not be able to use a cellular phone. You'll have to be able to connect via some type of computer device. So just kind of know that. It will last about 30 minutes, and it is, again, considered a professional encounter. So dress like a job interview or such things like that. It is not a technical interview. We're just trying to get to know who you are as a person. Okay? So for our fellowships, we have a very easy integrated approach to our fellowship design. All you have to do is in our fellowship section, if you would like to be considered for fellowships, you just select yes. Now, please note that if you select no, at no point in time will we review your fellowship decision. This is considered one of our more binding aspects of our application, so just kind of know that as well. So for our best application practices, we ask that you apply anytime during the round. Don't wait until the last minute. And then please note that our decisions are released on the date. And so if you're applying at various programs, we ask that you plan accordingly and know the general time frame along the same decisions, because we will not be releasing earlier than that. Make sure to submit your portions of the application by the deadline. So again, in reference to the letters of recommendation, you can submit your application without your letters of recommendation, but just kind of know we will not be able to release a decision until we have the letters of recommendation, because that is part of the application. And again, it's another aspect of who you are from a third party source. And then unofficial transcript copies are accepted for our transcript requirement. So just kind of know that, just make sure that they have identifying pieces of information, such as your name or another identifying piece visible as well. Now, for our admissions deadlines, here coming up, we will have a deadline for round 3. This will be March 14th, with a decision release on April 28th. And then for our round 4, we have it on May 2nd, with a decision release of June 2nd. Now, this one is kind of tight for us because our first day of orientation will be on June 7th, with the first day of classes being June 12th. So I highly encourage you all to submit by round 3, just to make sure that we have ample time to find housing and get all different things if you are admitted into the program. Please note that you have 30 days after the decision to accept your status, with the exception of round 4, as you won't be able to have those 30 days. So just kind of know that as well. For any action steps, make sure you set up a one-on-one with me, and you can use either the QR code or my Bitly to set up a one-on-one, so I can answer very specific information for you all. And I thank you so much for your time with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will go ahead and stop the recording to answer those questions that we have in the chat. Thank you and have a great day.